First of all, I want to give a rest in peace to my man Forte, aka Cuff Trends. Y'all know who I'm talking about, right?
Yep.
He was a heavy hitter in the Polo world. Passed away recently. Shit was crazy, man. I went to his wake. They buried him in a I think he had a team hat in his coffin.
Did
Pretty
they?
ill, yeah, it was ill. Heavy hitter, you know. Going into that, like, he had a lot of shit. He was one of, like, from now, I have to say, like, nowadays, he was one of the top dogs. So he had all this stuff, and look at that. He had, like, I don't know what it is that he had, what terminal disease, but he passed away from it. I think he needed, like, a new liver or something like that. And, you know, he kind of kept it secretive. But, you know, we collect all this shit. And, you know, like, what does it mean after he's gone? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is his family? I mean, hopefully it could do something for his family if they move it. I don't know if they needed it. He was alive long enough with the illness to
Tell them what to do.
to tell them what to do with it. You know what I'm saying? Or what it's worth and shit, so it won't end up in the hands of the wrong people. And people come, you know, niggas do vulture shit. They start swooping in like, yo, let me get this and that and the fourth, and try to get shit for dirt cheap, knowing it's worth mad bread and all that. But still in all, you know what I'm saying? You pass away, and it's just whack. Like, you amassed all this shit, and like Nas said, what's it all worth? Can't take it with you under this earth. Rich men died and tried, and none of it worked. He had to spend that little ball right there. You know what I'm saying? But rest in peace to my son Fortes. I had to put that in the air.
He had the hat on?
Nah, they had it on the side of him and shit. But it was ill to see that shit there. Like, damn. They
When
knew
Amp
that
passed,
was
I put him in the casino. He wore the casino.
I like that. That's fire. You know, that was his favorite joint?
shirt, yeah.
With the fuck haters hat.
Yeah.
There you go, baby. Happy birthday to my nigga Prodigy. Every day since 11/2/74 on the streets making nonstop cream galore. You see the shirt. And I celebrate Prodigy every day. This isn't a one-time thing. Every year, every day. You know how I do when it comes to P.
Favorite rapper.
Come on now. Niggas know what time it is. And another thing I wanted to touch on before we really begin. Some of these comments I saw from the last video we did, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. And I wanted to bring this up because it's crazy. Like, some of these things, they hit the ether and they start traveling to people that are outside of the culture and shit. You know what I'm saying? So I see niggas talking shit about, like, boosting and all that shit. Like, yo, what are you doing? Like, that's bum shit. It's loser shit. Like, my niggas, let me tell y'all something. We were 15-year-old kids and shit and 16-year-old kids trying to find ways to get Gore-Tex, North Face jackets and shit like that. We didn't have the money for it. Our parents weren't paying for these things. So the only way to get it was to boost it. You know what I'm saying? It's not like we're grown men running around stealing shit on some bum shit. You know what I mean? I was just telling a story of things that went down in the past. You know what I'm saying? We're not glorifying stealing shit and all that extra shit, but yeah, this happened in the past. A lot of people did it. It was part of the culture of New York City graffiti. It coincided with it. So, you know, I get it that a lot of the people like, and to me it's ill that the shit travels and it goes into like people that don't even know about this shit seeing it. Like, it went that far, but I just had to explain that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I see mad people complaining about that shit. Like, yo, these motherfuckers, they're stealing stuff from stores and taking stuff from the people. Like, fam, these are big corporations, my nigga. We taking a few jackets from their stores and shit. It did nothing to them. It did not put them out of business. They're still thriving. And like I said, we was only like fucking 16, 15 years old. You know what I'm saying? And we had no ways of getting this stuff. We all wanted it back then. And that was the way we got it. You know what I'm saying? Some people got it other ways. Back then, it wasn't like now where kids actually got jobs and get money and shit. You had to have, like, what was it, like a youth summer program job and shit to get back then? How was niggas had jobs back then when they were 16? Who had a fucking job when they were 16 back in the 90s? Yeah, that shit didn't exist back then. Yeah. So how was we getting money? Either our parents was buying us all this shit, which they were not. Imagine your parents buying you $500 North Face jackets, and then you want this color, that one, this one. How you getting that? You know what I'm saying? My mom's would buy me one North Face bubble or a Mountain Light or something and be like, yeah, you good with that. But I wanted the steep tax and this and that and the fourth. So, you know what I'm saying? We have to find a way to get this shit, and that's how we did it. So, calm the fuck down, chill out, people. Everything gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? We not glorifying it. Are there people still doing it out there? Maybe. I don't know. But, you know, I'm just telling you a story from the past. Niggas wanted to hear about it. We spoke on it. You know what I'm saying? And, yeah, B, as we got Franklin Corbinati in the building. You know what I'm saying? Behind the scenes and shit, holding shit down. We got Igor with the pinwheel Yankee on, taking it back. You know what I'm saying? Franklin, I got a little gift for you right here. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you want.
Pantalones.
You know how we do, baby. Oh nah, I bought you the jump offs, man. Come on, son.
Aztec Blue.
Aztec Blue. Look at the tags on them shits and tell me them shits ain't. They not faded. You know, shit's brand new. You know what I'm saying? We don't play games out here.
Still hear the crispiness in
Crisp, you hear that crunch?
Yeah.
That crackle? It's just
Still
gonna keep
popping
your
in the
legs
back.
dry, my G. Also bought some markers for y'all for my son Graph season to fuck with. Look at Rebel.
Gifts.
Look at Rebel. He's ready. You know what I mean?
The other
And-
one's already empty.
well, there you go. We got some new one here. Have fun.
Leave them there. You're good.
There we go. Yeah, man. And, you know, we just here to talk our shit once again. Once again, it's on. You know what I mean? Go into detail. We want to
Like-
hear some shit. Don't get shy now, my man.
85. I had the Jordan 1, 85.
Damn, dog. You take
Yeah,
it
and
back,
I had the
nigga.
two.
Shit. Ah, damn.
I had them all.
The
Every
Italian made
I
twos.
didn't.
Yeah, when they were quality.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
crazy.
And they were $65.
See, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Italian made.
Yeah.
Yep.
The 2 was
The
Italian.
two.
That's ill.
And the 3,
Try them on.
the 4.
My first Jordan was the 7. I had the Bordeaux 7. So I was late.
That was the best 7.
Nice.
I was late
92.
in the game with the Jordan.
But that was still the best 7. The
Still
Bordeaux was still the
92.
best. Yeah.
Yeah. That was my first Jordan. And I didn't even like them. That's the funny part. I thought they were
those are
whack.
fire.
Like, yeah, but you got to understand, at that point, Nike was making so much other fire
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
that
92 was the. Forget
92,
about
93,
it.
94.
Forget about
It was
it.
crazy. So I thought, like, those, to me, I looked at
92, you couldn't cop everything. There was too
couldn't.
much shit.
that. And then you go again. Like, how the fuck were you supposed to get all that shit? Your
No,
parents
there was
wasn't
no
going to buy
way,
you
yeah.
everything unless you were selling drugs or you had older cousins and brothers that sold drugs and shit like that and got money somehow or you were rich. You know what I'm saying? Because you wanted every color Barkley. You wanted every color fucking, you know, whatever Jordan was out. Like, the cross straps. What the fuck? The 8s.
And you're not even,
Yeah.
you're not even going into Air
93.
Max and runners and basketball, ACG, all at the same time.
Cross trainers. Come
All
on.
at
That
the
was the
same
best
time.
right
Bo
there.
Jack-
92 was the dream team. They all had all 5 of them.
Oh, my goodness.
Barkley, Robinson,
Chris
Stockton,
Webber's.
Pippen, Webber.
Pippins.
Yep.
Which, matter of fact, I brought. Let me show y'all right quick one time because we spoke about Sneaker Barn last time we was here, which is an infamous spot. Which was where?
Thank you, Bunny.
Rockland County.
Exit 10, New City.
Who found it?
Bunny.
Who fucking molested it?
Who cleaned it out? Yeah, I did.
So I still have a pair of sneakers. I have a few pairs of sneakers that are from there, but I still have these on deck. These are from there. I got these back in 1999, I believe. from
Never
there.
retroed.
Never retroed, and I still have them to this day. And they just been sitting in storage for that much time. And I
favorite
have
Pippen.
others, but I brought these. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't see them a lot. So
My favorite Pippen.
you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to show them to the people. This is the type of shit that Sneaker Barn had on deck. I don't even got the laces in them no more. But these are the Pippins. Dynamic Flight Hirachi.
Damn, wow, they didn't even crack.
Nah, because I never wore them.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
once
saying?
don't put it on.
Yeah, but even
Nah, I'm not.
look at it.
Take a look at these fellas. Damn, this shit matches your outfit right now. Better than that hat you got on there. But
I only wore the sweater because of you.
I'm glad you did. It looks good on you. It's like the old rabbit that we remember, you know, back in the days. But look, Dynamic Flights. I brought these out just to show y'all. You know what I'm saying? Still got the original box and shit. These
So
was
that logo was fire.
a size 10, B. This is how my foot done grew since then. You know what I'm saying? These are like, well, how many years is that?
Enough.
25. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Enough.
Even the boxes were better back then.
even the boxes was
The designs, the logos, the boxes, everything
same
was
bullet.
better.
And what I brought,
Everything.
you know, on my feet, a good pair of Spiridons, people. These are the ones that came out in, I think, 2005 or some shit like
Yeah,
that.
something like
This is
that.
The retro. The funny story about these sneakers right here, I bought these when Flight Club. It was a store called Clientele downtown. My man BB, shout out to BB.
BB.
Polo.
Bam.
It's my nigga right there. My son Bam. He works at Supreme now. Top dog up in there. Niggas know what time it is. He used to work at Clientele, and Clientele shut down, and they turned it into a store called it was a Flight Club, like, what was it, like a
like a thrift Flight Club, like a vintage.
yeah, like
used?
they started selling used vintage
yeah.
stuff. So I went in there one day, and I saw these on the shelf for like, it was a good price. It was like under $1 or like $1 or some shit. So I'm like, oh shit, these are my size. You know, it was like, what was that, 2007 or some shit like that?
Probably.
So it was 2 years after they dropped and shit. And you see how these shits match the whole drippiness of my outfit right now with the reflective
flood,
this,
not the drip, the flood.
You know what I mean? Turn the faucet off because we about to drown up in this bitch. You see it, nigga. You see that hat and all that shit. We gonna get into all that.
Not by accident.
And this hat is another hat that I love. I had one of these since back in the days. This was one of my favorite Tommy Hilfiger hats from back then and shit. But these sneakers, when I saw them in there, I wanted them right away. I was like, yo, let me get them shit. So I bought them mad quick because they were my size. I didn't need to try them on. I already knew what they were. You know how niggas be trying sneakers on? We don't got to do that. We know what time it is and shit.
Not at all.
Bought them, went home, opened the box, and there is a fucking Rebel tag inside the box. So these was his sneakers before. I don't know how they got there, but they were his sneakers. And I was like, oh shit. I didn't even tell you that. You found that shit out recently. You know what I'm saying? But these was his old kicks and shit. But I had them when they came out as well. Beat them into the ground.
Yeah, because that's when I was dumping tons of shit.
Yeah, they were there and they had this fucking tag in the box. So I knew right away. Am I right or am I right? You used to catch tags in the box of all your sneakers and shit.
I caught tags in every polo hat I ever sold.
There
every
you go.
sneaker box I ever sold.
So that's an ill story.
So you know
about
where it
these
comes
kicks.
from.
But look at the immaculate.
Immaculate.
Look how this shit. Look at all this, man. Come on, son.
Outfit architecture.
Stop playing with me. And look, I didn't even know this shit was in here, dog. Little RL 2000 fucking bicycle shirt. I mean, like, what the fuck? I guess I just put it in there because it matches his kicks and shit, but it's just in the box and shit. But anyways, just had to show y'all that real quick. I mean, one more time.
For the mind.
For the mind. And back to this hat again. I'm wearing it. You know what I'm saying? This is my favorite Tommy Hilfiger shit, the athletic line. Had to throw this on real quick. Very comfortable.
You'd go athletic over Lotus?
They kind of equal to me. Like, Lotus is like top tier elite Hilfiger shit. Athletic, they both pretty elite in my opinion. Because like all the shit that Athletic made, well, not all of it, but a lot of it is fire.
What do you think about outdoors?
It's hot.
It's like the Polo Sportsman at Hilfiger.
The best is Athletic, Lotus, and cycling.
Yeah, cycling.
I love the cycling hat. Cycling hat is fire, son. I have like a few of those shits.
Yeah, 96.
I mean, but had to throw
But
my
they all
little.
had the jacket, hat, and polo.
The what?
Like the jacket, the hat, and the polo was the best out of the line.
Out of which line?
Like that
The
hat
cycling.
and that
Oh,
jacket.
yeah.
The polo, the long sleeve. I think they had that. Then a button up they would have.
I still
They
have
had
the
a
long
vest,
sleeve
a bubble. They had the
somewhere.
bubble,
Yeah,
the bubble
still got it.
vest.
Yeah, the bubble
and it was
vest.
reversible with the silver. They had the jacket, the bubble jacket like that too. They had this hat in like solid colors. They had one that was split in half, but this one is the one. This is like This was the
that's
one.
the one. Yeah, that's
this is
the
the
one.
one, and I had it since. This is not the one I had back then, but I've had this hat since I was a little youth. You know what I mean? Rabbit came out with his motherfucking. He put the fucking 2G bear on for us today.
In 98.
You know what I mean? Rebels out here with a P-wing hat. You know what I'm saying? We got some motherfucking American accents on the table. Indian spice. Summer squash. Come on, son. We got a fucking colonial red in the building, son. Come on. Country cream wood saver. Y'all niggas know what this is. All the legendary niggas that you love from the bombing game, like this is the shit that they used to use. You know what I'm saying? These are the cans right here that did all the damage to New York City.
What's so good about wood saver?
Made
was
with
just
Teflon.
Yeah, it was just the best paint. It was strong
you
as
could bomb
fuck.
in the rain with that, and your paint wouldn't drip.
Like, fillings were solid.
Solid.
crispy, clean lines.
It's like
that were
writing with
thick.
spray glue.
Yeah, it was all like the best shit. And then the colors that American Accents made, which is ill, like India Spice, Summer Squash was the beat. Everybody claims this. I don't know if it's true or not, but I believe it. J.A. was like the first one to do a border.
J
around
and
his
JD,
Philly.
D-line.
Yeah, and he did it with a
100%.
Summer Squash, and that shit became a thing in the Bronx.
100%.
Bronx niggas took over that, and they was the kings of fucking the funky ass colors and just doing weird bugged out colors with fillings and
The
shit.
best part for me with the accents was when you were bombing truck yards or trains, you'd use that because that paint was flat. And then you use the wood saver for the outline to have the gloss outline on the flat colors.
Yeah.
And the wood saver would never drip, and the fucking accents covered like perfectly.
Yeah. Back into
Nothing
that
better than
actually,
that.
like when we was talking about because last time I'm going into things that we spoke on last time, and I was just talking last time, like off the top of the dome. So people complain about certain shit. People hit me up like, yo, a lot of people loved it, but then there's little discrepancies. So when I mentioned TDK for North Face, right? I talked about them, and they were the ill North Face dudes from the Bronx, but we have to mention DFA, who came before them, kind of. You know what I'm saying? To probably put them on, which is like Mate and Sabe and Sohn, my nigga Sohn, my
Free
heart.
Zone.
You know what I mean? Who else?
Free Zone.
Free Sohn, Hefs and all of them. You know what I'm saying? Like legendary Bronx niggas and shit. Like they was the first ones with the North Face shit out there, doing it heavy. You know what I'm saying? So, what else did I? Oh, like when I spoke on the tags, the gate top killers. I mentioned Chino. I mentioned Astro. I should have also mentioned like Jew, who was Two Rage. Heck no, Sue, Louis, Rule, Fame.
So many.
Who else? Who else is a gate top killer? These dudes from the Bronx, Wed, Rec, and CeeLo. They were like gate top killers. JP.
Oni.
Oh my God, Oni. JP was ill. He was ill, son. His tags were like the illest. Chase and Abuse, like there was so many, you know what I'm saying, that killed it doing that shit.
Every area had.
Oh
had
my
the
God,
rings.
like the top of the gates where the hexagon is, where the gate rolls into.
Yeah.
Tabe, TFT had the top of every
Yep.
one of them shits back in the day. So we got to mention niggas like him too. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's not forget the most elite of all time. Like these niggas I seen since I was a little baby. Cause my whole family, when they moved out here, like a lot of them moved to Spanish Harlem and Brooklyn. So, when I was in Spanish Harlem and we used to be out there, like my families had whip early. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people's families didn't have cars back in the 80s and the 90s, in the early 90s and shit. My father did. He had the big fucking Buick station wagon and shit. That shit was like a fucking long ass boat, nigga. You turn a block, nigga. That shit was huge, nigga. Yo, we be in the back of that shit, me and my sisters. Yo, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
the,
absolutely.
The big wooden
Land
shit.
sharks.
He had that shit. Yo, Jaws and motherfucking Easy. They are the kings of just, they had shit all over the
What about
place,
Josh
dude.
5?
And Josh 5 too. But Jaws and Easy. I would see
Yeah,
Jaws
yeah,
tags that he did himself
Yeah, absolutely.
before he passed away. You know what I'm saying? Like, I saw them just as a kid. All
I was
through
catching
Spanish
flicks of
Harlem.
Jaws 88 shit in fucking 2000 on McDonald's.
That's what was ill about Graph 2 back then. Like, all the way up until, like, let's say, like, 2000 and...
Yeah, 2000. Early 2000.
A lot of shit lasted all the way from, like, the 80s,
80s.
and the 70s. Like, it was still in the streets.
86.
The gates were still cooked. A lot of walls were still cooked. So you got to witness all this shit in real time and see a lot of that shit still living. You know what I'm saying? Like, and them niggas had it on Smash. Like, to them days, like, they still had shit. You know what I'm saying? FIFA 2. But FIFA was more like sneaky tags. You know what I'm saying? But, like, the big boom in your face shits is all the niggas that I just mentioned. And there's probably a few more that's not coming to mind right now. But
There's way too many. Way too many.
those are, like, the usual suspects of that shit. Damn, it's fucking Velcro.
Out here,
dog.
Fritz and Vin had heavy shit. On
Oh,
top of
Fritz
the
and the
gates.
Fritz. There was some nigga out here that wrote Raw Lover.
Yeah, Raw
You know what
Lover.
I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah,
I
absolutely.
like this tag. This shit was fire.
Lover.
Raw Lover.
With the hook R's.
Yeah, the
Yep.
whoop. That's the old school shit I was talking about.
Yeah.
The R that comes in like
Yep,
that.
yep.
Who else was from out here on this side of town that used to kill
Thousands,
shit?
thousands.
And when it comes to fillings,
Thousands.
we gotta mention people like, I ain't gonna lie, Rebel was one of them. Like with the dope ass new fillings. Scuff, obviously, I always mention him. We gotta talk the Bronx niggas, Mate, DFA, Sabe, KST. Cynic is one I was gonna mention. Cynic and RN.
Yeah, all right, absolutely.
Both of them together. Like them niggas had ill feelings. I'm talking about niggas that was like really running around like getting up crazy. All the adult DFA. Oh my goodness, that shit was crazy. There's these niggas from the Bronx. A lot of people don't know about them because they're from the 80s. They're called Nex and 3B. Look them up. Like when you saw Spec, my heart, rest in peace. He used to do like the question mark inside of his shit and put the border inside of the question mark. He got that from Nex and 3B. Like these motherfuckers had feelings that were just fucking futuristic back then.
He used to do the K with the razor blade too.
Yeah. He did all that. He was ahead of his time. Rest in peace to Spec. Ahead of his time. He died at like 19. You know what I'm saying? Due to gun violence and shit. He was like one of the first like murders in graffiti. But he was like, if you look at him and what he was doing back then, and we was too young to notice it because we were kids. You know what I'm saying? We was like 17, 18, 19 and shit. And I look back at it now as a adult, and I'm like, damn, where would he have been right now? Like, what would he have been doing? He would have either stopped, but if he would have kept going with graffiti, bruh, he would have been on another level. Because what he was doing then at that age was so fucking amazing. And he was killing shit. And he was fucking niggas up, too. Like, his hands was amazing. Like, he was just fucking up grown men. And like, he was an ill motherfucker, dude. You know what I'm saying? Left-handed, Aquarius. You know what I mean? It's my nigga right there, my heart. But he was one of the ill ones. Just throwing that in there. But I just have to let some of that off because, you know, people were complaining to me about certain like shit. Like, yo, why didn't you mention this person? Why didn't you mention that?
You can't mention
And
everybody.
I'm like, yo, these niggas don't understand. Like, bro, I'm not here to talk about the history of graffiti. People are I'm up here. Y'all asked me, Rebel asked me to come up here to ask me about my history and why I got into this, why I got into gear and graph, why I'm into sneakers and shit like that. It's not for me. And like, yeah, we're gonna talk about some graph and shit because it's part of our life.
Customary.
It's part of our shit. But I'm not here to tell you the whole history of the graffiti from the fucking 80s to the 2000s. Like, nigga, come on, son. That's a whole nother discussion. You know what I'm saying?
But let someone else tell that.
Exactly. Let somebody else tell that. I'm not here for. I'm gonna give you tidbits of the shit that influenced me and inspired me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not here to tell you the whole story of graffiti in back in the days and shit. And niggas just, that's how they look at it. Like, niggas is mad, like, I don't know, niggas be bugging out sometimes. They're like, yo, why did you mention this person? And why did you talk about this shit? And like, my nigga, this shit wasn't about that, bro. Like, I'm not here to talk about all that shit. I'm here to just tell you about a story of my, oh shit, I went racking. I was in Woodbury. We almost got popped. I racked a few North Faces. And you know what I'm saying? This is how I got this North Face and that. Like, I'm here to tell you that story. I'm not here to go into like all this other shit and tell you the whole history of boosting and graffiti and all that shit. I can't tell you everyone's story. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't there for all this shit since the 80s and all this shit. I know about a lot of shit, but I don't know everything. I know a lot of shit though. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know everything. And I don't like to tell other people's stories too much. You know what I'm saying? I'll try to big up niggas and shit that
They get mad when you tell that story.
it's
too.
stupid though because I'm trying to like inspire. Yo, matter of fact, we gonna go into this. I don't give a fuck, man. Fuck all that. I was racking like I've been racking, but the niggas that really put me on to like loot racking and shit like that, making bread off of it. K1, we gonna shout out K1 the Hindu. You know what I'm saying? Like he was definitely one of the niggas that was getting busy with racking back then. You know what I'm saying? Like especially getting money off of it and putting niggas on to like new scams and schemes. Go ahead, man. Y'all niggas talk, cause I've been talking too much, man. Rebel, you
when we were digging sneakers, the first stuff I really went hunting for, when everybody was buying Jordans, I was hunting old Adidas made in France, campuses and shell tops. There was this local store called Circle, Army Navy. We were getting them for $20 a pair. So we were skating and wrecking them. So we would be there every week buying them. So once we realized that they have old stuff, then we started really like going to Tutto Calcio on 18th Avenue, all the soccer stores and clearing them out. And then basically that's 92, 93. Back then, people didn't want old stock. They basically, it was dead inventory. So we're like, oh, we'll give you X amount for this and we'll take everything you have. And then that was before the internet. Then the internet came out. I said the first time I was on the internet was 97 on eBay. I was buying Jordans for $20. Air Stabs for $9. Original Air Stabs for $9. And then you realize everybody's only wearing what's currently out. So there was only a few people that bought multiple pairs where like if you bought a Jordan 4 and it came out in '89, by 1990 your 4s were cooked because you only had one pair. But if you had 2 or 3 of them, you might wear those 4s in '92 and be like, "Yo, where the fuck did you get those?" But you might be able to get them in the Bronx. They might still be on the shelf. So with the advent of the internet, you didn't have to travel as much as you did. So like going to Philly and finding stuff from the 80s on the shelf like it was regularly sold in 2004. You see Delta
I found
Forces
shit out there. I went to stores out there like, what the fuck is this?
like you see an 88 Delta Force next to like a current New Balance, and you're like, what the fuck? And then you talk to
That's
the
what
guy,
Sneaker Barn was.
and then you talk to the guy, and he's like, yeah, I got a couple of those left, only big sizes. And then we're like, well, what else you got? And we could never. There was a place called Bill Batty's. My buddy Alex and Marty put me onto that spot, and the guy that ran it was this guy Jay. Jay would never let us in the back. We asked about 100 times. One day we walked in there with stacks of cash. And we're like, come on, Jay, it's Saturday. Let's go in the back. We went upstairs, and it was all orange striped boxes as far as you could see. As far as you could see. The latest box they had were the black and orange boxes from the mid-'90s. And literally, I was getting Hirachis, limited edition, brown and umbers. I was getting Pippins. I was getting Barclays. Like, you name it, it was in there. 88 Air Max, like, everything was in there. We couldn't get it all. We filled up cars and we just couldn't get it all. But back then, to them it was dead inventory. The floor, they wanted the newest stuff. They wanted the newest stuff on the floor. The older stuff faded away. So in '92, whatever's out in '92, 1991 shit hit clearance racks. If they couldn't sell it on clearance, it just sat in basements. And we were going around with a bunch of other people and just clearing shit the fuck out.
How would you say it's changed the culture?
The internet, there was no such thing as sneaker websites.
It's gotten worse.
Eh,
Sneakers is terrible now.
It is.
Well,
It's
The
horrible.
quality's terrible. The
Well, he's
terrible.
talking about the culture of like sneaker collecting.
the culture, yeah.
There is no culture no
Yeah, there
more.
isn't.
It's just
No, you know what it is now. What you're seeing now
It's
is
like a
that
shell of his former self.
everybody does
all
it
these
now.
resale stores killed sneakers culture. All these
Yeah.
resellers killed the sneaker culture.
Vintage sneakers don't mean shit anymore. Let's just be honest.
Hey, you can't really.
Biggest thing to get retro
can't-
in a few years anyway.
Exactly.
But you know what's crazy? Back in the days, if it was '95 and you were wearing Weber's, right? And then all of a sudden, I broke out a pair of France shell tops. Everyone's like, "Yo, what the?" They thought it was a time
Yeah, they're gonna
warp
be like, "What the fuck you wearing?" Because nobody was wearing those.
because no one could get them. I knew where to
Except
get
break
them.
Yo,
dances.
the funny thing is like, but back even like the late '90s, let's say, there was a lot of stores in New York City because I wasn't traveling to no fucking Philly for no sneakers.
Yeah,
and
no
shit.
one was.
I would go to Philly like when
So we were going to Baltimore. We were going
I didn't do
everywhere.
none of that. Not for sneakers.
Ah,
I remember
hell
like
yeah.
when the,
Hell yeah.
Mitchell and Ness started popping off. Everybody was in the city copping what they were copping. We were
That's
going,
when Philly.
We were
yeah,
going to
yeah,
Philly.
Yeah.
So straight to the store. And nobody, like niggas from here wasn't really going over there. We were going. I remember I came back with all the headbands and shit. And you was like, yo, where you got them hats from and shit?
Yeah.
When I saw you by Balducci's and shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I went to Philly and found them. So then I went and like on the way there was sneaker stores with the old Asian lady. the
Total
Korean-
Sports had.
Total Sports had fitteds and shit.
Yeah.
But I saw like old sneaker stores and I went in them and they had like old kicks in there. But even in the late 90s in New York City, there was a lot of mom and pop. That's what they call them, mom and pop stores that was
Independently owned.
So there was one on, remember on 14th. It was like by
Seventh?
7th Avenue.
Yeah.
Yep.
They still had Air Prevails, they had
Carnivores.
Carnivore,
And they had
all
the
that
one
shit.
that's the spot on Avenue A on 14th. There was a spot
That
there too.
one,
Yeah,
that one
uh-huh.
too. They still had all the old sneakers, Choice Sporting Goods, 103rd. They had Carnivores, Unlimiteds, all of that on 50-something Street, right next to the McDonald's and Hell's Kitchen. You remember that store?
What is
It's a
that?
McDonald's
8th,
and Hell's
9th?
Kitchen. It's on like 8th, I believe.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
9th.
yeah, yeah.
They still had all the old sneakers in there.
Yeah.
There was mad stores in New York City that still had mad old kicks that you could walk in and buy.
Flatbush
There
was
was a store on
king of
8th
that too.
Avenue.
I
Chinatown
never
right
went
here.
to Brooklyn to
Flatbush
that.
had
'Cause
mad
we just had
shit.
shit right
Yeah.
here. So we didn't know, but a lot of them
Sunset
didn't have,
Park had mad shit
I didn't
too.
know about stores.
Yeah,
right here.
man.
But the thing is, a lot of them didn't have like big sizes, so they went from like 9 down. At the time, like I'm a size 10 or whatever, so it was dope to go in the stores and see all that shit there. A lot of them had kid sizes on Dykeman.
Yeah.
They still had
everywhere
I
had
would
kid
rack them.
sizes.
I would rack the
Yeah,
the
yeah,
kids
yeah.
ones and just put them as a little like a
Knick-knack,
paperweight
a
in the
knick-knack.
crib. Yeah, I still got like kicks from
Yeah,
back
yeah,
then,
yeah.
little kids joints.
I used to
But
put them on the Polo teddy bears.
I do that to this day. I still do that. I still got joints
Yeah,
like
man.
that. I'm gonna send you a picture.
Yeah, man.
But so the thing is, we didn't know at that time. Well, I didn't know personally that if you ended up. So me seeing all those kicks, I wanted them. Put it like that, and I had no way of getting them because the stores didn't have my size, right? So at that time, I think I told this last time. I might have not. I can't remember, but my boy Says Low, like I said, his father was an antique collector, and he showed him the ways of getting old. He saw that his son was into like vintage polo, kicks and shit. So he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna show you ways to get this stuff." You know what I'm saying? Because I know how. He was a famous antique collector, New York Times, all of that. Like he was really infamous for this shit. So he showed him about eBay early on, before a lot of people got on it. You know what I'm saying? And when we was in Cez's crib, he was on eBay, and I remember like. I saw him buying shit. Like, he'd be off to the corner by himself, or we all in the back drinking shit in the room and wilding out. And I was like, yo, what are you doing over here? I'm going in the cookie jar, taking all the fucking cookies and shit.
Absolutely.
I would go in the kitchen. So when I go in the kitchen taking all the cookies and shit, I see him in the cut on because the family computer used to be in the living room, or like, you know, it wasn't like, it's not like now where everybody got their own shit in their room. Yeah. It was like a family computer that was in like a
dial up.
Yeah, in a family, it was in a family space for the whole house to use. So he would be out there with that, and I'm like, "What are you looking at?" And I see him like he was like focused, you know what I'm saying? And then he's looking up transatlantic jackets and all this other shit and kicks. He was buying like Air Strongs and all this shit. Mm-hmm. So I was like, "Yo, I remember them shits. I want those and shit." So he showed me like how to do it. So I went home. I had a computer early. Because back then, a computer was expensive to have. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But my family had one. But I didn't use that shit. We outside. You know what I'm saying? So I said, fuck it. Let me figure this
now
out.
Now it's vice versa. People are inside and not outside.
So I went and got on the computer. I got eBay. I went on eBay and shit. And I looked up sneakers that I wanted from the past. I was just typing in like Nike 1993 and shit like that. I found Trainer XLs, the teal with the gray and shit.
Teal with the gray.
I found those, Nike Unlimiteds, Trainer SC Bo Jacksons. I think I bought a pair of original ones, but they were around at the time. But I wanted the original ones. I don't know why, but I bought them, and I bought like 4 pair of sneakers. Nigga, that shit came out to like $150 for all 4 of them shits. So the way for me to get them, it wasn't no fucking PayPal or nothing. I had to go to the post office and send the fucking money order. But I didn't care. I was making mad paper at the time, and I was like, you know what? If I lose $150, it didn't matter. But I didn't trust it. I didn't know if the sneakers were gonna come in. I completely forgot.
And then it was Christmas time.
Because at that point, we living every day. We outside running around. We doing graffiti. We racking. We in the midst of mad shit. So it's like I forgot that them shits was even coming. And one day the mailman just popped up with them shits, and I opened the box and I'm like, oh.
And P was sugar.
Shit. And it was like, oh, it's on now. Like I'm just wilding out. But one thing we didn't know at that point, I didn't know personally, is that me putting these shits on my feet and walking around with them is that they're gonna break into pieces. You know what I'm saying? I had no idea. So I put the shits on and I'm walking around and I get a whole day out of the sneaker and shit. And I remember I'm coming back to the block. And this was around the time, what sneakers was out then? The Jordan, these niggas from my block, it was this dude named Curly and Smiley, son. And they had on the Jordan, the whole shit, the side is like a reflector and it has the cat eye on the side.
13s.
The 13.
Yeah.
What year was that?
The Pop-Tarts.
98.
So it was 98, and I'm walking down the block, and I had on the XLs. And I'm thinking I'm killing them, and they coming up the block, and they staring at my sneakers and shit. And they like, oh, them shits is hard. And I'm like, you know how we do, baby. So I'm walking and shit, and then like, they staring at my shit.
There goes
shit.
the soul.
But luckily, I was on my way home. I was like, no more than like fucking 50 steps away from my building and shit. So they still looking at my shits, and they passing by me when they said that, and they say, what up to me? Like, yo, what up? These niggas sold mad crack all day. These niggas was crack selling Olympians, nigga.
Olympians.
Yo, these niggas. Yo. And they walk by me, and then like I start feeling my shit feel weird as shit. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Disintegration.
Y'all look down, the whole shit is like flapping.
Flip-flops.
Yeah, but that's rare too because they were made better back then.
Yeah, but it was already like, how many years out? 5? or some shit like
Yeah,
that.
no, more than
they
that.
came out because it was 98. Them shits
But you
came
know
out
what's
in
crazy?
93.
I remember buying a lot of vintage sneakers and wearing them,
And they were good.
and
Nah,
they were good.
last- Some of them lasted for
And
a
then
minute.
all of a
But
sudden,
after
one
a
day-
while, they
I
cracked.
feel
One
like
day
they sent out the
just-
email
yeah.
late fucking 2010 saying break because nothing ever
But,
broke.
Yeah.
but think about this real quick. If they made these sneakers or anything, because like I get it with like jackets. This is why I love clothes. This is why I like Polo and all this stuff because it lasts forever.
It does.
It does. Like it lasts forever. But with footwear, with companies like Nike, whatever, Adidas, Reebok, whatever may have you, if the shoe don't break, how they gonna make money? Because then what's the point of them retroing it?
You're
if-
right.
if
Yeah.
the shit's,
Yeah, but they
That's-
weren't
that's-
thinking that far back.
Planned
then. They were thinking
obsolescence.
quality.
I think they knew it.
It's all about where it was stored too. That's
But
why
yo, check.
yours,
But
that's why yours broke. Because
But think of it this
depends where
way.
it's stored.
Think of it this way. I got 89 Son of Lava Domes. I could wear them right now. They will not break.
Yeah, because where it was stored.
No,
ones,
no,
the
no.
orange
Because of
ones?
what the materials that we use for the sole.
Yeah,
Yo, let me
yeah.
tell,
different.
hold on.
Every
Let me
material's
tell y'all something real quick, man. Yo, listen. This was like fucking a good, I'll say like 12 years ago or some shit like this. I'm on eBay. Son of Lava Domes pop up, right? I peep them. I want them. Shit's bad. They like, I think they brown with the orange or some
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Yes, brown, black, and orange.
Those are the ones you got?
No, I have yellow and I have all black and gray
And
limited
neon
editions.
So
Gray.
at this point on eBay, you can still see who, like the names of who niggas who won.
He bought them.
I
buy 'em all,
No,
brother. I buy 'em
bid
all.
on these shits. They go up mad high, son. I wanted them shits bad because they was my size, and them shits don't usually. I love lava domes. Period. They like Vasks.
I don't
to me,
like
you know what
lava
I'm saying?
domes. I only
love
like Son of Lava Domes.
I like lava domes and Son of Lava.
And
Domes.
lava flows are my favorite too.
I don't know what the fuck those are, but lava domes and Son of Lava
Before
domes.
your time,
They
P.
are before my time, but lava domes are like Vasks, kind of. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
guaranteed.
So I like because they
Absolutely.
look the same. You know what I'm saying? So I like those a lot. So the Son of Lava Domes, I peeped those. I wanted them bad. I saw them on eBay. I bid on them. I see who wins them. Rebel wins them. But I boosted the bid up, right? So I get a call. So matter of fact, no. I hit Rebel up like, yo, damn, nigga, you won them shits, man. I wanted them shits. He's like, how the fuck you know I won them? I was like, nigga, I was the one bidding on them. I was the bid under you. You owe me money right now because you made them shits go up mad
You were
high.
definitely the
Yo, he
type
started
to
flipping
But you
out.
know what the
People to run
funniest
them up.
part
Yo, he
is though?
flipped out on me over that shit.
But
and
yo,
I-
the funniest
Like,
shit
wild
is
out.
nobody's really hip to Son of Lava Domes.
I think I found out him because of you.
Yeah.
I probably found out him because
You
of
were
you.
definitely the type to call other people up like, yo, run this bid up, run this bid up. I know it.
me?
You.
Wait, hold
Yeah,
on
I'll
a
do
second. Who was the one? Who was the one who photoshopped a white heli vest when there was a trans on to distort the view?
We did that together, my man. So
man.
we did that together.
Who won you the orange Trans Antarctic from the guy shoveling snow in his driveway?
You got it for me, but I think you pulled a fast one.
Nah,
You
no
made,
fast
you made
ones.
some money on that.
No
man.
fast ones, G.
I paid a
I
lot
found
for that
Unlimited
shit too,
in
man.
2002 in the place you just mentioned,
Which one?
18th and 77th.
Yeah, absolutely.
The soccer store.
100%. Tutto Calcio.
Yeah, it was down the block from me.
Absolutely. They had mad dope
Yeah, I
shit.
know.
I wonder what they did with
If
all
you
that
were
shit.
They
around,
had
you would have
Unlimiteds
lost
in
your
the
shit
8.5.
in that store, man.
Damn, son, this shit
All
is
original Adidas, all in the blue boxes with the holes. Fire, $20 a pair, man.
I
Yeah,
found
but-
a spot like that, and so you know you probably know because it's in Bushwick under the J line and shit.
Spicy action?
Nah, not Spicy Action.
Magic?
It's another spot that niggas didn't know about. It was called like A&S some shit. And niggas don't know about it, but you probably seen the block because VE has two fillings on the
By
top
McDonald's?
of the building. It's just on the top of two, next to two windows.
Yeah, the windows are the dead windows.
He has two fucking fillings there. Like
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
still there.
I know
to
ex-
this
yeah,
day.
I know
Right
where it is.
around the corner, there was a spot called like A&S or some shit. And downstairs, it was Arab niggas. So Mayhem knew these niggas, right? So like, they only let specific people go downstairs. Like fucking Master Killer from Wu-Tang and these East New York niggas like Jeru the Damager and shit like that. And they let them go downstairs only and shop and shit. You had to have bread to go down there. They ain't let everybody go down there. I found pictures in my email like a couple weeks ago that I took from in there, luckily. And there's mad boxes of sneakers. and
Thank
all
God
that
you
shit.
documented it.
So inside that shit, nigga, they had mad Sergio Tacchini suits, Fila windsuits, old Asics and fucking Nikes and buckets of old Pepe jeans. Remember used and damaged jeans?
Used
and
That
damaged,
was-
yeah, yeah.
Remember them shits with they were like what's that shit called? Stonewash.
Stone acid wash,
Yo, they
stone
had
wash,
That's
all
Chess
of
King
the-
days damaged.
all of
chest
that
king,
shit.
skids,
They had all of that shit brand new. They had
Cavarici.
cat with the double belts.
nigga, they
Darren.
had all of that down there. All of it brand new with tags.
Oh,
and they
man.
had They had old Adidas, like the ones that had the guy's face on it.
Stan Smith.
I didn't know that they were worth money.
Yeah, Stan Smith.
I had no idea, but they had them right there chilling for nothing. So my dude, like they run all these street pages now, telling Blanco Central, Mecopolis, my son Lifestyle 100, and I told them about it because they had Bally shoes that all the old hustlers used to wear. They had them shits in there, and I told them niggas went there, they cleaned shit out.
That's the way you got to clean
I
it
don't know
out.
if- Not some of them. I don't know. I think Lifestyle 100 went. He went there, he cleaned them out, and we just never went back, son. We should have. And they ended up shutting that shit down. I don't even know what happened to all the stuff, but they had old Adidas like that were worth mad pay. When I looked it up after the fact, I found out that they were worth a lot of
100%.
bread. Like they were very old, like original.
If we knew then
shell
what we
tops
know
and
now.
But this wasn't even that long ago.
Yeah.
It wasn't that long ago. You know what I'm saying? But damn, son. But I got pictures of that shit. I'm gonna send you that shit so you can put this.
I'll give you a funny one.
Give me it.
I used to
Let me
work at-
pause. Pause. No Diddy.
When I used to work at
Pause.
Costco, I came out when I had a yellow 92 Invisible Steep Tech on and a cycle hat. And this kid,
92 or 93?
90, I don't know, one of them years.
93.
The Invisible.
93. 93 is the one that it had the sign that you could see it, and the one without that it was
Yeah.
like monochrome.
So
Whatever.
anyway,
the fuck you call it.
I come out in 36th Street train station, and I see this kid wearing a 95 Steep Tech, right? And he's got like some bullshit fitted hat on. He's like, yo, you rock low? I'm like, yeah, whatever, a little bit. Like, don't bother me. So then he's like, yo, let me see your hat. I said, see my hat?
You can see it from here, my man.
Right?
The fuck else?
So
you
then,
need?
to get this kid like away from me, I take my cycle hat. You know, it's got the white sweatband, and it was brown from fucking riding my bike in it. I'm like, this shit is dirty. You don't want it. And he grabs it, and I fucking remove his fingers from my fucking hat, and I roll my hat up because you know it's cheap. They got 3 pockets. I roll my hat up, put it in the pocket. Right? I had a Sony Walkman on. Right?
The yellow one.
The yellow
sports.
sports. Yeah, the
That
yellow
was- that shit
sports.
was- that was the
right?
one.
So the Walkman is in the chest pocket. The cycle hat's in the bottom. I get on the train, and I sit down. So then he comes in, and I'm like, let me just go to the end of the train, get this fucking kid away from me, right? So I go to the end of the train. He comes to the end of the train. He's like, yo, what are you going to do for that hat? I said, what are you going to do for that hat? Right? He's like, yo, you right? I'm like, yeah, Rebel. He goes, Revel, R-E-V-E-L? I'm like, yeah, whatever. So he tells me what he writes, and I name every single writer where he lives, right? Letting him know that, like, I know who the fuck you are, right? So then he says, watch what I do before the next train station. So I'm like, all right.
Get the cat over here.
Right? So I stand up, right? I put the box cutter in my fucking hand, and I'm waiting for this kid, right? Because I'm about to cut this dude. As soon as he walks close to me, he's getting cut. He never came at me. He dipped off at the next station. Bro, the adrenaline was running through my fucking veins. But you know when shit like that happens on the train, you never realize how many other people are around, right? Here I am with the blade open, right? My finger on the blade, ready to cut this dude.
Because you focused,
Right?
hyper-focused on that
Right?
situation.
Ready to cut this dude. And then like when he jumped off the train, like I still had the blade in my hand, right? I still had the blade in my hand, right? Say hello, buddy. Say hello.
What's up, my
Right?
G? Niggas
So
on
I
the
still
table
have-
and all that.
Buddy does what Buddy does. So I had the blade in my hand, right?
Want some Indian spice?
And then all of a sudden, like the situation is over. And then you realize like, yo, the fucking train is. What if I would have fucking lit this kid up? Yo, there's mad people on this
I mean,
train. You know what I'm
it's
saying?
self-defense, dogs. You know what I'm saying? Buddy, what are you doing here, bro? You fucking up the whole
Nah,
shit
nah,
right
Buddy
now.
does what Buddy
Nah,
does.
he does what he want, but right now, Buddy, you got to get off the table,
Buddy's
man.
good.
You fucking
Leave
up
Buddy
the wave.
alone.
Come on,
Buddy's
buddy.
rolling.
Give Buddy some food.
Buddy wants to know
He's
what's
hungry.
up. He wants to know what's up. Buddy, what's up? What's up, buddy?
So, yo, back then, the train was a
The
fucking
train
problem.
was Vic Central.
It was a problem. Yo, when you went from motherfucking 59th Street to 125th, that shit was a terror dome because it was
Because the train didn't stop.
it didn't stop. So if you knew niggas knew not to be on the back of that train.
And don't sit by the door.
And then if you had like a red Mountain on or a red North Face and these blood niggas was like they was going off at the time. You know what I'm saying?
That was mid '90s.
So they was on it. So if you had a red North Face on, you're gonna have to fight for that shit, my man. Any North Face you had on, because like I said, having a North Face on was pretty much like having
Having a
jewelry on.
target.
So you had a target on your back. Them just was expensive jackets. It was like
And you go on
designer
the
clothes back
125th,
then.
which is bad as it is.
Exactly, and that was like Harlem.
59,
Harlem was
125.
anything above 125th. You going into the terror
It's
zone.
going to Beverly Hills to Compton.
Exactly. So that ride from, you have to be careful from 59th. You getting on that train, you have to make sure, like you have to look and make sure niggas, because once you get on,
You can't get
niggas
off.
will sneak on mad quick,
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
trap. You trap for all of those stops, and you have to fight for your shit.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Niggas will try to get you. So it was like that, man. It was crazy. Like you have to really, just be on point. And robbery was a big thing. Now, these kids, like, they look at that shit as bum shit. Like stealing
Think of-
somebody's
yo, think of
somebody's sneakers is like, they look at you as a bum.
Yeah.
You try to do some shit
Think
like
of how
that.
dark the train stations were back
They
then.
were very dark, gloomy, grimy. They look dope in my opinion, but there's
was
still
the
some
re-
stations
that
like
was
Full
the
of
that.
graph.
real New York.
I
full of
hunt,
graph.
I hunt those stations to
That was
find
the real
stations that
New
are
York.
still look that way. You know what I'm saying? Because I love the way that shit looks, but stations don't look like that anymore. You know what I mean? It's
Chambers
just all
Street does.
futuristic. The old station, the one by the courthouse is still like that.
Word
on the
Street?
4th Street, on the 4 train or some shit like that.
The Dead Station, Word Street.
It has, I don't know what station it is, but it's like, son, it looks crazy when you go down there. Like they haven't updated that shit in a while. And
Yeah,
certain
but the
stations
L
in East-
either, like on Canal, when you go, what's that one on the top? The L or the J?
yeah, them shits is fucked
that shit
up.
looks like
Yeah.
Some of the
back
shits
then.
in Brooklyn, East New York, they still look crazy, and I love it.
I was just there
Summerhorn
today.
is still,
Skimmerhorn?
it's kind of the same. Grant is still fucking crazy looking. I love that station. That shit looks like they never updated.
The
it
subway
ever.
was always chain snatching season.
Exactly.
Watch
my
out,
grandma,
it's
I happened to my
chain
Remember
grandmother when I
the-
was a kid with my grandmother on the train. I used to take the train as well. As a kid, a lot of kids didn't take the train either. You know what I'm saying? So I got to see I didn't see graffiti on the trains as in like
Yeah.
like full blown pieces, but I saw tags on the trains.
yeah.
I saw like throw ups, like chicken scratch looking shit. You know what I'm saying? And one time I'm with my grandmother, the train door closed and some nigga just grabbed her chain, like yanked her
Yeah.
shit. You know what I'm saying? And
Don't sit
yeah.
by the door.
and they just took, but she was new, like
Yeah.
she's from DR, like she didn't expect that to happen, you know. But I witnessed that as a little
I don't
kid.
think
like,
anybody
oh,
expected
shit.
You don't
Yeah.
remember the Risky Business ones?
Yeah.
I love those.
Chain,
shits.
yeah,
Yeah.
the cartoon looking
The
ones.
graph
Yep.
one. I know. there's
Graffiti, the
yeah.
chain snatching one.
Yep.
I love
Graffiti,
those
scratch
shits.
ED,
Yeah,
all of that.
you don't have those.
I do somewhere.
I need.
Somewhere.
I've been trying to get my hands on one of those shits for a long
Risky
time.
business.
Yeah,
I
risky
have
business.
it somewhere. I have it somewhere.
The nigga that made them is named Art Glazer.
Historian P. Watch out.
Come on
Historian
now.
P.
Come on, dogs.
Come on,
I
dogs.
be knowing. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you have to navigate the city and keep your shit intact, because it was like, yo, wearing your clothes, man, like or whatever you was rocking, like you really have to hold that shit down. You know what I'm saying? Like down to your fucking sneakers. Like niggas will try to get you for your shit. You know what I'm saying? I remember like even just being in school, like our school, we used to go play basketball because we didn't have a gym, so we went to John Jay College to play ball over there. Son, niggas will go, they take off their Jordans and shit. When did
They
those shits
wouldn't
come
be
out?
there when you got back.
Yeah, the taxis.
The 12s was
I remember the taxis.
97.
Son, we would go to John Jay and play there. Son, niggas would put their sneakers down in the
Gone.
back. Them shits was gone.
Gone.
By the time they came back. Yo,
Gone.
that shit was crazy, son. It was yo, nowadays, like I said, kids wouldn't even do that. They'll get, like, niggas will try to rob you for gold, for like jewelry and shit like that, but for clothes, not really. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
nah,
saying?
they don't
like
do that no
Like
more.
that shit just
It's
it's frowned
you're
upon
living in a
now.
different city now. It's totally
Yeah,
different.
it's frowned upon. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, another writer that I forgot to mention, and we gonna mention him and we gonna talk about him, and I forgot to mention him, is my son Rape TCN, one of the greatest. You know what I'm saying? Best styles, finest. Crazy throw up ahead of
City's nightmare.
The city's nightmare. Another one of them tags and throwies that was ahead of his time. It was different.
Shapes.
Shapes. They look like fucking crazy shapes and shit.
Chinese star looking.
Polo legend as well, you know what I'm saying? Nightmare to niggas, you know what I'm saying? My man was walking around with that 4-4 long and a briefcase with fucking cowboy boots on, with a P-wing on. He was a nigga like that, different. He was ahead of his time with it, you know what I'm saying? Rape was on his shit. And his hand style, that forward motion hand style, became, I don't
loop
know,
bar.
I can't say the loop bar too, but the forward motion hand style I can't say that he invented
Frey.
it.
Kill him.
Maybe he, but Rape popularized it, and Rape is the nigga that all these niggas took it from after the fact. Niggas are shooting fair ones over his hand style, fighting over that shit. There was man. Let me tell y'all niggas another story about that hand style. But Rape TCM legend, it's my nigga right there. I fuck with him, Panamanian. You know what I'm saying? He dipped out of here early 2000s. He just got back. He's in New York again. Coming soon. We gonna bring him out to play. You know what I'm saying? He got a million stories. Legendary 90s shit. He was there for a lot of things, and he's one of the influential writers of the 90s that put it down in tunnels, streets. He killed shit, and he's just one of the niggas that I looked at when I was young and I saw his shit. Because my pops lived in Queens. So my pops lived up Liberty Avenue. My pops lived up Rockaway. So back then when my mother used to go on vacations, she did not want to leave me in the crib dolo because I used to wild the fuck out and have mad people in the crib wilding out. So she took the keys away from me, and I would have to go stay at my father's house up Rockaway Boulevard in Queens and shit. And when to get there back in the days, I had to take the train up to Liberty Avenue, which is the last stop. You either take it to Liberty or the train keeps going toward the Rockaways. I stopped at Liberty, which is a fucking West Indian neighborhood, Trinidadians, Guyanese, and all that shit. And from there, I had to take a bus. And the bus was called, this is how you know I was there back then. And go look this shit up. And niggas that was there, y'all know what I'm talking about. The niggas that was writing out there at the time was this nigga called Late TGF, Late Curb, Kerb, TGF. They had shit on Smash, and it was raping them. I don't know what they were doing out there all the time, but they was heavy on Liberty Avenue out in Queens, even though he was from Bed-Stuy and shit. But I would see a lot of his shit over there, like under the Newport signs. He had like the fillings underneath his shit. And I had to take the green. It was a bus. They didn't have MTA buses back then.
It was private.
Out there. It was a private bus company called the Green Line Buses. So them shits, no lie, this is how you would know. If you was around back then and you know about the Green Line buses, you listening to this right now, you know what I'm talking about. Them shits would take hours to come, son. So I hated it because I'm coming from the Upper West Side. You know what I'm saying? And I had to go all the way over there to go to sleep unless I'm staying over somebody's crib in Manhattan. And I would get over there at like 1 a.m. and shit. And then the bus takes like a whole nother hour. You know what I'm saying?
If you're lucky.
I would walk through and walk to Rockaway Boulevard and walk up. And I would see the writers that was, doing shit out there. And it was like too nice.
I remember Late.
Late and them, Raping them had shit locked up over there. And they was killing it. You know what I'm saying? But where the fuck was I even going with this shit? I don't even know, son. But yeah, them niggas was killing it out there. And old school writers had shit still. Some niggas that wrote AZ and AI, KSW. They had shit locked up over there heavy. Those are like SP1's peoples and shit. Not a lot of writers. Sense, CeeLo and them from Harlem, they had a lot of the stops on the A-line over there. I got to give it to them. They was coming out there heavy. You know what I'm saying? Sense, CeeLo. I don't think Ray Dogs was with them, but he was a few times. But really, Sense and CeeLo, they was mashing shit over there. But Raping them niggas had that shit locked down. You know what I'm saying? And his style was ill. And I'm just putting that in the air as another one of those influences. And that's where I was going with it. Niggas, a lot of dudes in the late 90s, a lot of the Brooklyn style that was coming out was either coming from like certain people. So Scuff was one of the heavy influences on people in that era, and so was Rape. Rape had a lot of dudes doing that forward style. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of writers was using that shit that don't, like writers you won't even hit. Remember Rec?
Yeah.
Rec, Beth 3, all of them, you know what I'm saying? The whole act and
Bed-Stuy. Right? Those kids from Bed-Stuy, right?
Nave, K-Town, and all of them 2000 crew, Rob, and all of them, like, these niggas had the illest styles, you know what I'm saying? Crash, all of them, you know what I'm saying? Like, JB, my son JB, RIA, all of them, like, Rape was, like, probably a little bit older than them, you know what I'm saying? So his style was influencing a lot of shit. But that shit started touching Uptown, too. Niggas started doing that. So I remember one time we was all on, I don't know what the fuck we was doing, man, but we ended up on 23rd and 6th Avenue. There's a big Masonic building right there. You know the building I'm talking about, right? So we all like deep. So we were Remo. Remo's taking us to like somewhere, to some party or some shit. You know what I'm saying? And Rec had just come home from Rikers Island and shit, right? So he's linking with Remo and shit. So we already a little tipsy. Rec came, he was a little drunk and shit. You know what I'm saying already. And shout out to my son Nuff 5BB, son. Remember Nuff?
Yeah.
That was my nigga right there. Dominican Nuff. I've been on the island with Nuff. Nuff is ill, son. Nuff was a real one. So him and Rec used to hang out a lot. But so we walking and we're like 7 to 8 deep. I know it's me, Eno, I think Envy. I don't know if G was there. Spec was with us. Spec was bang. Spec was drunk as shit. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't even stand up. So we get to right there to the corner of 23rd and 6th Avenue. There's a Chase Bank right there on the corner. Oh, no. It's another bank. I forgot what bank it is. Big glass windows, right? So Rec pops up. So Rec was like, he'd be on his shit back then. Like, you know how he was. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, yo, what up to everybody and shit. I already knew him. So I'm like, yo, what up? You know what I'm saying? They didn't know him, like none of my other peoples and shit. So they saying, what up, introducing. So when he gets to Spec started doing that forward style. So Rec said some slick shit to Spec. And even though Spec was drunk as a motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? He caught it and he wasn't with it. So Spec was like, fuck you talking to, nigga? And then they start going at it back and forth. And Rec was, he wasn't no bitch nigga neither. So it was like two niggas that get
He looked
busy.
like Carlton, Alfonso
Kinda.
Ribeiro.
So there's two niggas that get busy, like, going back and forth. So Remo's there, like, trying to stop the shit. Like, yo, chill, yo. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so these niggas is going at it. They don't want to stop. So fucking, and this is all over rape style. It's crazy, the forward
man.
style. Yo.
Fred, kill him.
So whatchamacallem pushed Spec onto the glass of the fucking window of the bank. So Spec turns him around and pushes him onto the glass. So they did this to each other like 4 times. They just pulling each other back and forth, talking shit.
Choreography.
Crazy. So the last push, Rec pushed Spec so hard
It breaks.
that the whole fucking glass of
Shattered.
the bank came down. But this is the crazy part. Where they landed, there was steps. And it was the bottom part of the steps. So they fall down like 2 flights fighting on some Dragon Ball Z shit in the air. So we had to go inside the bank
To get him out.
to get Spec out because he's so drunk and high. And then Rec runs up and him and Remo, they dip off. They run into the right there was the Jersey path. They run into the tunnels because listen, the bank alarm went off. Nigga, cops is coming from every fucking angle, nigga. They didn't give a fuck. They was coming through the wrong way and everything. So we got Spec out of there quick. Spec had the glass was so thick, my man. It was like an inch thick. Mm-hmm. That shit was lodged into his back, son. It was crazy, but he couldn't feel it because he was so drunk. So we go to like fucking 8th or 9th Ave over there in Chelsea and shit. And we like in the 20-something street and shit, and we just trying to take the glass out of his back. It looks crazy. We had to get him to the hospital and shit like that. But it was a wild one that night, man. And that shit all happened over that style. You know what I'm saying? Like that rapes style caused that. It caused all types of other fights with other people too. You know what I'm saying?
All over a hand style.
All over a hand style that went crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Amazing.
A lot of people used to fight over Scuff's fucking S and shit too. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone was trying to use that shit when he came out with it because it was so innovative and new. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like some new shit. Like there was innovative styles in graph that changed the way graph was. Because that's when I mentioned all those gate top big tags. When these niggas came out, they brought like a new essence to flowing tags and shit in the street that was just like, even when like someone like Ear Snot, because they like niggas didn't have like we had influences right through what you see on the wall, but it's not like Instagram now where you have all these lessons and you can learn all this shit. So niggas are just coming up with their own shit. Like, oh, let me write fucking knee neck. You know what I'm saying? Like the niggas just coming up with crazy shit.
Can.
Yeah, like and making these new weird styles and shit like that. So
Anti-style.
graph was like changing in those moments, and it was becoming different. And niggas just coming up with new shit. And like Scuff came back out. They knew how to do shit already because they been out since before that. But then they came back again in '97, and they had the whip and they was mashing shit. They knew how how to
Reinvent
actually
themselves.
bomb and go to war with niggas and do. They knew how to. We was young. I was still like brand new. You know what I'm saying? Like with these niggas and I didn't know what the fuck was going on. Like these niggas knew what they was doing already. Like Remo knew. He knew how to go to war with them. You know what I'm saying? Like he was handling shit. But other niggas couldn't handle them niggas, bro. Them niggas was really. They was handling shit. You know what I'm saying? But anyways. Yeah, niggas was going to war for styles back then. Like, that shit did happen. Niggas was fighting over styles and shit. Like, yo, you bit this letter and all that. And that's the shit that I find ill. Like, back then, niggas would say something about that. If you bit shit, like, it was exposed. You know what I'm saying? But that's how you learn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You bit things, you copy things, you evolved off of it.
You got to make it your own.
Exactly, but niggas would say something now.
of course.
Now it's anyone takes anything, and it's just like if you say something about it, you come off as a bitter nigga or like you're
Hater.
angry and all this other shit.
People are scared of the truth.
Exactly. So you just have to like keep on evolving. You can't be a nigga that stays stagnant with shit. Dude, I started. Come on, let's be real. All this hands and shit on throwies and these characters and making your shit into contemporary art. I'm not saying I started it, but I definitely helped evolutionize that, and man, niggas started doing that shit, and they got to the point like, damn, I can't even do a throwy. I had so many ill ideas for that type of stuff. Like, oh, my throwies fucking climbing up a building and doing all this extra shit, and they got corny. You know what I'm saying? They got to the point where like, this is lame. I don't want to put hands on my shit no more. Doing something, shooting something. I got shit that I never even put in the air. I never even showed niggas that I did from back then. You know what I'm saying? Because I stopped posting on IG, but it got to the point where it's like, do I even want to show this to niggas? Everyone's doing this. Yo, this shit traveled the planet now because of IG.
Of course.
To the point where
all over the world.
People in Brazil do the shit that I'm doing. Girls in Mexico stole my this tea and this thing. It's like, god damn, son. And nobody says nothing. Back then, nigga, you got checked for that shit. Nigga, that shit caused... You could get fucked up over that shit back then.
Social media ruined the world.
Different world.
Straight up. You know what I'm saying? But that shit was just crazy. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to talk about that.
Back in the days, if you wanted to see graffiti, you had to be in the street.
You did. You had to
be right there looking at it.
You had to be out there.
Couldn't look it up online. There was no
online.
online.
Another throwy that was amazing. EAD, TBK, DFA, Ed1. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You know, that was one of the dopest.
The one that was by Western McDonald's forever.
Oh, forever and ever. Him and Ark.
Yeah, man, 911. Forever.
My son YE, I ain't gonna say his name. My son YE, he's an actor. He was in the fucking Shaft. He was in a couple of movies. You know what I'm saying? YE and Ed. Ed is his cousin, and they used to live on 161 where the train popped out. Mm-hmm. They call it Ed's backyard because
Malali Skate Park.
Well, I used to go there too. I used to go there back in the days of skate. We used to climb over the fucking gate and shit. That shit was mad annoying. But Ed's backyard is the pop-out ditch of the 4-line because he lived in the building. So he would bring everyone back there to do fillings and shit that you could see right when you came out the 4-line. So him and YE had that shit smashed all the time. You know what I'm saying? Because YE was his cousin. YE's back catching a bunch of marker tags again. I see him. I see you, YE. You know, like...
Let's talk about sneakers.
We gotta talk about sneakers again. I'm going into all types of shit. Spray paint. We could talk about spray paint. So we got spray paint on the table.
The book's coming out. No, you got to talk about.
But we just talking about anything because
talk about this book.
It's just interesting shit that coincides with all of this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
It's a lifestyle.
So let's talk spray paint. Back in the days, and this is from my perspective. I'm gonna tell y'all when we wanted paint, there was not many places to go. You could rack paint in the city, a little something. You know, like mom and pops, hardware stores and shit. You sleeve a can or two or throw one down the leg, but they was on to niggas. Even all the fucking stationaries, they was on. They was up. You know what I'm saying?
Tunnel stationary.
It was burnt. You know what I'm saying? Because niggas was, you know
abusing
how niggas,
it.
It was like the city was. It's not like graphics now where everybody rides around and does graffiti. Back then, it was like niggas was in the street. So every block, every little crevice was covered with marker tags, paint tags, fillings. So everyone was just out and about racking from every store because you was on foot. So back then to get paint, if you wanted like, all right, we going out tonight, we're going to try to do something, the place to go, there was only one Home Depot in the city that niggas could get to. I think the one on the A-line by the fucking, by the aqueduct, by the, what's it called? The casino was there. I'm not sure.
Then they opened the one in Brooklyn on 4th.
That was way after.
And Queens was the first 24-hour one.
The only one was the one in Queens.
That was the only 24-hour one.
Flushing.
Yeah.
So back then, when you would ride the
17th was 24 hours.
Was. But
17th.
back then, if you want to paint, Queens was the only 24-hour.
I went to. You talking about the one out here?
Yeah. That was the first one in
I got a
Brooklyn.
Hamilton
story
Ave.
about that shit too, son. But the one in Flushing, you would take the 7 train out there. So a lot of niggas don't know the 7 train was ill. You had Bruce and Tech, my son Tech. Tech was a terror,
Bruce
my man.
destroyed the 7.
Niggas was shook at Tech. Tech was on some next shit. He's a monster. You know what I'm saying? With Graff and otherwise as well. You know what I'm saying? He was a monster. But Bruce, Tech,
Spen,
all these Queens niggas, they
NATO.
would do, their feelings were like my son NATO. A matter of fact, I got a Yellow Rat Bastard magazine from back then. I found it in my crib the other day. NATO had put me in it for sneakers.
Oh, dope.
I gave him my Jordan 3s with mad blood on them because I splashed a nigga in the head with a bottle, and blood got all over the sneaker. And I didn't want it. I was throwing it away, and he was like, "Yo, let me get it. I'm gonna put it in here." And he put a bunch of Graffiti Writer sneakers in there with on throw ups next to it from it was like 2003 or something. I found that shit, but I'm gonna send a pic of that shit too. But so back then the 7 Line Riders was ill. Don't get it twisted. Even after the fact, like the newer cast that came in the late '90s, like the BP crew, them niggas was ill. Like remember GSA, Jissa, LB, Bags, and all of them, and they was doing mad. They had that line on smash. So remember Evil E? Mm-hmm. Evil E, rest in peace.
Yep.
That line was ill, and it had other writers from other boroughs in it. A lot of writers from other boroughs would hit that line, which you wouldn't see everywhere, because everyone was riding the 7 train to go get paint from that one Home Depot. So you would be on that train going over
And
there.
you see 3 different people racking at the same
bump
time.
into niggas on the train and shit. It'll be beef and niggas fighting and all that shit on the train. Because you would run into niggas all the time. Yo, if you know what I'm talking about, when you go into that Home Depot, it was a kind of a long walk off the train to that Home Depot if you was on foot. And there was fucking dogs that were loose. And these motherfuckers would chase you, son. You'd have to run and jump up on top of a car and shit, trying not to get bit by these fucking rabid dogs that was out there and shit. Niggas that was there, they remember, they know. They gonna know what I'm talking about. I remember I got caught in there one time, and I was young. I had the big heavy A solos on. You know the ones I'm talking about.
Which ones? The ones I gave you?
I had those, exactly. I had those back, but I had those before that, like back then out the store. So
Bring back the Kevlars, man.
I had those,
What's up?
and you know the ones Jay-Z had on in the Dead Presidents video.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I had those on, and I racked mad kills cans, and this is when Zinser was popping. We was hitting tunnels and shit a lot on the N&R line, and fucking the niggas saw me, son. And I think that night niggas was going to Brooklyn to hit the F line with like setup in them niggas and shit, and they ended up getting popped. But we didn't have cell phones and shit at the time, so they caught me. I tried to run out the store and shit, and it's a long, big parking lot till you get to the front to get out of there. Yo, they chased me all the way to the front. They grabbed me up, and they were like, "Damn, son, like, what the fuck, is you a football player, son? Like, you fat? Like, you know, how the fuck you ran like that? Like, we couldn't even
Joe
catch up to
Namath
you."
over here.
I didn't want to get caught, though, and they called my mother and shit, and they let me go. But by the time they let me go, everybody was gone. So I was dolo. I was trying to find. I went all the way to the F line on my own trying to find niggas and shit. I couldn't find them and shit. And I just went home after that. But that's why that line was mad ill, because mad niggas would go out there to rack paint. So everybody was riding the 7 line and they would hop off, find their way onto rooftops, hit the street spots and shit like that. So you see riders from all the other boroughs touching that line too. There was also at the end of the line, there was a store called Caldor. And
I remember Caldor.
It was right there at the Flushing, and upstairs they had the American Accents cans. They had them. Oh, my bad to the cat. What's his
Easy,
name?
buddy.
Buddy. My bad, buddy. They had American Accents summer squashes up there, but they had them in this like little plexiglass thing, right? So we just popped the shit back, boom, opened it up. And then I would go with kids from my block and shit, and I would just fill up their whole bags full of paint. Boom. And then we just walk out, son, and shit was sweet. And then also there at the end of that line, there was a Woolworth. So when did Woolworth go out of business?
It's 90s.
When?
Yeah,
early
year?
90s.
No, it wasn't. It was not the early 90s.
Yeah.
It was the
I mean,
late
most
90s.
locations.
When were they like completely gone? Like
That I don't know.
90s.
like the late 90s though.
Yeah, probably. I mean, the one over here was closed.
Fifth Avenue. That was closed early.
Yeah, it was Burger King took over. That was probably
Yeah, they all had the Burger Kings in them
92.
and shit.
Yeah.
So the one I'm talking about, it was like 98, 97, 98. It was at the end right there when you
Was
get off
Caldor's
the 7
closed
train.
too?
Caldor's closed as well.
All that.
But they were still
Kmart.
open.
Huh?
But they were closed. They were still open, the Caldor.
Yeah.
So we would go in there, try to rack paint. They kind of got burnt because they didn't have a lot of paint out like the Home Depot. But
So now Supreme's the top dog.
no. When it comes to sneaker collaborations, Supreme was ill, son. Like they did the Blazers after that. Them shits was fucking fire. The Blazers was sick, nigga. I love them.
But
shits.
Kith, you think Kith is known? Kith is known for the collabs.
For
ALD,
sneakers?
yeah.
What collab they did? With sneakers?
New Balance. He started the New Balance before
I guess.
ALD.
I'm gonna keep it
I had some
100.
Kith New Balances early.
Kith
I
is
was
before
never
New.
into. I was never into New Balance, so I wouldn't really follow that. I follow Nike.
Kith has Kith had all those collabs. ALD came later on because
I
he
remember
put him
Kith,
on.
What I remember, he
the
did put
gray
him on.
polo boot.
That is what I remember. Kith,
Yeah.
being first with. They came with the
gray
with the
polo?
Ranger boots.
Yeah, exactly.
They did that
Kith,
first.
Kith did the
and then
Polo
they did
collab too.
They did the first Vast collaboration as well. So
Yeah,
they
ALD
were
does collabs.
Wait. Didn't BJ's do the first Vast collab?
Yeah, but that's not. Come on, that's
Come
not.
on.
That's not a collab.
They're just picking their own colors, not a
Yeah,
collab.
that's not a collab.
You know what I mean.
Yeah,
And they also had the
of
first
course.
fitted
Those are
hats. Remember the
best.
Vask fitted
Yes,
hats?
I have one.
I got a few.
I got one. P got a few.
Niggas don't know about the Vast jackets.
Awake
now.
was the
Or
first
maybe
one
had
to
to
do
pull
the
those out.
UPS collab.
The what?
Awake was the first one to do the UPS collab.
I don't even
Nope,
know
if
about
you
that.
wanna
Hold
get
on.
no.
What you
the
said?
first
What?
person. Hold on.
Hold up,
the first
what?
person to use a UPS logo was Stash.
did.
GFS.
Yeah.
And that was the UPS logo.
Who the fuck wants to do a UPS collab?
that shit
I'd
was
rather
like-
just work for UPS.
Yo, that shit was like early 90s.
He
wanna
did
go-
do the UPS.
Yeah,
It was
GFS,
and niggas used to call
German
it
Stash.
United Pot Smokers and shit like that when they wore
That
the
was
shirts
and
all that.
Russ did fucking the Wheatus with the pot leaf. Early.
The Phillies Blunt logo, they did that shit too.
So you think all these
that Philly
so
Blunt
all these
shit
brands
made
are known because of the
noise.
collabs
Yeah, it did.
then?
That was not from
Most of these
Concentrate.
brands are known for the collabs.
So yes, the collabs is what blew up a lot of brands. You know what I'm saying? But now it's getting to the point where the collab shit is just getting too crazy,
yeah, exactly.
bro. Like it's just like
The New Balance shit
it's
died
like,
out.
Put it like this: it's more. It's
think
almost
so?
like
Yeah, New Balance died out.
It's just too. It's too oversaturated.
Yeah, yeah.
Everyone's trying to like
Airship,
run it.
everybody gets a fucking airship.
Fuck that
shit.
shoe.
So right now it's just to the point where it's like the brands almost can't survive without doing a collab. Like niggas can't do their own shit like,
Unless you're a fucking a good brand.
exactly. So
That's
it's
the
like
thing.
damn, like everything is a collab.
They don't
collab,
stand
collab,
the test of
collab.
time.
So what collabs do you like right now and don't like and shit? You
None.
don't
I
see
think
coming from
nobody
brands?
does anything original anymore.
Like what?
I mean, some Supreme will always have his clientele, but they copy a lot.
They do. But they always been known for
They
that.
made
They
a
always
book called Supreme Copies.
yeah, they do that.
Come
They've been
on,
doing
man.
that.
No, I know, but they're famous.
They
for-
do like
Awake copies everything. They don't sell, but they copy everything.
Yeah.
They just did a collab
I
with
don't
like
really pay mind.
fucking
I don't see what they
Yu-Gi-Oh
do.
or some shit. Like
What?
some little character with like a fucking mohawk.
I don't even know about that.
I don't know about it either. I seen a picture. I'm like, I thought it was like some bootleg shit. Looked like Dragon Ball Z meets Yu-Gi-Oh.
What else they be doing?
They did a Hilfiger collab. It's in the outlets sitting there.
It didn't take off.
Take off.
I don't know.
Take
shit.
it off.
What else they did?
Hilfiger, Benz. I think they did a Benz collab.
Benz.
They did Montclair. Montclair, I think, was alright for them.
Okay.
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola. I remember back in the days they had the Coca-Cola rugbies and
Yep.
shit.
Benetton
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola rugbies.
Those shit was fire back in the day.
White and red with the little drawstrings.
Yeah.
Yep.
Remember the hat?
Yeah.
Drawstring in the back?
I
That shit was fire.
actually took the drawstring out and put a regular back on.
That shit was hard, that hat. That's it? That's all they did?
I mean, I don't follow the thing. I just see whatever pops up on Instagram. Levi's, they
They did
did?
Levi's?
I mean, I feel like everybody goes to
I
Levi's.
did see like these niggas just said UPS joint. I don't even understand
The
that.
best Levi's thing ever was the Jordan.
I remember
Hey,
that.
that shit sucked, bro.
I remember that.
I just sold my pair used, 600 to
sucked.
Lance.
Yeah.
Son, imagine like denim Jordans, bro. Like, come on.
I mean,
Come
I
on
love
now.
denim 4s. I love 4s, so
Nah, bro. Nah. That ain't it. That ain't it, my nigga. Come on now. But what else?
I do like a Carhartt Jordan.
The Eminem, right?
Yeah,
Eminem.
Fire.
Yeah.
Eminem.
But the best Jordan 4 is the undefeated.
And coming back out.
Yeah, but that's the problem.
ain't
with
gonna be the same.
Is it gonna?
It ain't. Hell no.
They came out like 4 times already. They just don't come out to the public.
To the public,
So it
yeah.
might be the same thing. Not gonna come to the public.
But no, they're coming out to the public this time. They are.
They keep saying
They
that.
are.
I don't
They
know
are.
until I see
And
it.
You know what I like about it now? If they do it and they do come out to the public, the new shape on the Jordan 4
Yeah.
is kind of fire.
But the Eminem
What-
2 came out again. It didn't come out to the public. They did
I
like
think
a
the
raffle.
undefeated 4 is gonna come out. I'll find out. I don't know the owner of
He's got his ear
Undefeated,
to
like
the
the
street.
real
He'll
the
find
real
out.
owner of Undefeated, Cali. I've been to their warehouse. I'll show you pictures. They had mad shit in there, son. They had a Supreme dirt bike in there. I'm wilding out, walking around, filming everything and shit.
Love it.
It was ill up in there.
That's
I
the
ain't
only
gonna
one I
front.
never
Shout
had
out to
was Undefeated.
It took Undefeated
So,
to make a Terra
I'm-
Lamar
I'm-
relevant again.
But let me tell you this about the Jordan 4. This is I'm not a fan of that sneaker period though, like that.
That's my
your
That's
favorite.
that's
I know.
classic.
Absolutely.
It is a classic. I'm not gonna front. The women's colors were the best. The women's colors were the best.
The aqua turquoise, silver, and black, the jungle green.
Them shits was hard, nigga.
Say it loud for the people in the back.
Those was the ones.
But
But-
but Undefeated made it black, and the materials were fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, when Nike,
A lot of people liked them. I ain't gonna lie.
They just
No.
forgot to add the comfort though.
No. But what I will say though, when Nike tried to release it in 17, fucking ruined it.
You know who
You
rocked
sent
them?
me
You know
the
who tried to,
Undefeateds, and I'm like, I don't know. Even if I don't like them, I'll just sell them. I got them. I fucking loved them.
You know who popped off
Loved 'em.
the ones that came out? Like what you say, 2000 what?
Which?
The regular retro.
2017.
2017. Virgil Abloh wore them, and everyone started going.
All I gotta
crazy
say
after
is,
he
yo,
wore
they
them.
sucked.
The Jordan 4, I ain't gonna lie. What brought them shits back to life, and let's be honest with ourselves, is the motherfucking skateboard shit, man. Because the SB
I have
Jordan
that.
4s was one of the dopest sneakers in a very long. That's one of the hottest sneakers that
I
have
have
come
that.
out in a long time. You know what I'm saying?
I
And
mean,
it
4 is
changed-
my favorite Jordan, so it's always gonna be it
but
for me.
No, but I got them too. Obviously, like right when they came out, and then the price just went through the roof.
Yeah.
But then when I got them and I saw the shape of them and all that shit, I saw the shape from the pictures, and I'm like, yo, these shits look ill. The people were raving about the shape so
The
much.
military right there's the same shape.
There you
These
go.
are the same shape too.
That's Nike.
When they
went,
get it right, they get it right.
Nike went and changed the shape of
They
the whole.
should.
They spent the $100,000s
They should.
to change the shape of
But
the
that's
shoe.
nothing to them.
Damn
It's nothing.
fucking right, man.
But they did it because so many people were raving about the SB4. You
But
know
they
what I'm
also
saying?
raised the price so much that 100,000 is included. It's not like they
Exactly.
fucking.
That's what they do.
$100,000 is nothing.
You gonna buy it?
Exactly.
You gonna pay for it?
Nothing.
What?
You gonna buy it anyway, right?
Of course.
There you go.
Absolutely.
There it is. I got them. So when they come out with the fucking blue ones and the red ones coming soon,
Oh yeah,
No,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
on
I
deck,
want
baby.
those.
Bandana got the
Supreme.
whole outfit already.
They're dropping the
No,
off
I'm
white
just-
too. They confirmed today the black one.
Yo,
That one's
all y'all
nice.
stores out there that fuck with me, you already know.
Hold
baby.
down Bandana
Hold me
P.
down. Let me see what else I had on my phone.
Anybody from Awake watching? He needs that UPS collab. He heard it was
I
fire.
don't know about all that shit, man. Oh, I wanted to go into why the fuck is Rabbit not on IG? Did you get banned for harassing
Nah,
women? Like,
nah,
yo, son, I'm
nah,
gonna keep it
nah.
100, y'all. Listen, I follow a lot of bitches on Instagram. I went on like a diet on that shit. I started unfollowing a lot of pages.
He's trimming the fat.
Trimming the fat because it's ridiculous. Like it's addictive. You know
There's
what
a
I'm
new
saying?
girl
Like,
every day.
Every day there's a fly, beautiful, banging bitch on Instagram.
Now it's AI. It's not even
Yeah, you
injections
up on that?
anymore. It's
Like,
AI.
I'm up. I got the sharp eye for that shit. I peep them.
Sharp eye.
Catfish used to be a show. Now it's an app.
It's real. Like they put the new faces on the bitch's body. It's weird, but
It's
Listen.
the future.
every fly bitch page that I go into, every single one, every one, there's 3 or 4 niggas that's in there before I'm there. Rabbit is one. Yo, every fucking bitch, he leaves no stone unturned, bro. So I'm like, yo, he's in every fucking one of their pages. Like, god damn, nigga, you got shit. You got good taste though.
They just
son.
pop
You know
up.
what I'm saying? But son, like, I'm wondering what happened because for the past like 2 or 3 weeks, I'm like, yo, where the fuck Rabbit been?
3
at,
weeks
bro?
Thursday. 23
Like,
days.
Look at that. I'm on point.
My
with
man
it.
is on detox.
I'm on point with it. I'm like, where the fuck has Rabbit been? Like, I noticed he's not on IG because he's usually sending me stuff that's going on with certain people and shit like that. And I'm like, yo, did he get banned for
Shadow
harassing
ban?
one of these women? Like, did you wilding out? Like, what the fuck is going on here, man?
It gets too repetitive.
Are
It
you
gets
cheating
boring.
on Kim Kardashian?
Is that why you
No,
left?
Kim,
though?
I love you, Kim.
Yo, so I think Kim Kardashian reposted this nigga one time.
I love Kim
Did she?
Kardashian. She liked my photo.
That's crazy, bro. That's how
That
much
shit went
this
from
nigga be
that-
wilding out, man.
I got like 3,000 followers just from that.
That's
Love it.
crazy, man.
Love it.
Every girl wants to be Kim. they can't be like Kim though. Kim can read. Yo,
Oh, man.
IG just gets too repetitive. It's the same thing. It's like people, bro. Imagine being trapped from a free app. Like,
Yeah.
yo, some people wake up every day and gotta fucking repost these old
100%.
pics because they can't do nothing new. It's like, yo, they're just like trapped. Imagine waking up every day trying to prove yourself. It's tiring.
You know who do that?
Yeah, but it's tiring.
Some niggas are relentless with it. Like they got all the. I don't give a fuck, nigga. You see me?
Yo,
I
and
don't
it's
post shit on IG.
a lot of people.
You know what I'm saying?
A lot of people I tell like, yo, you're trap IG. You're in the matrix. Like it's taking over your life. They get offended at me.
I'm not gonna front.
And then I
trapped.
see it.
I'm trapped in the sense that I'm on it.
Yeah, but you don't even
looking at
post,
shit.
so that's a
But
different story. You know what I'm saying?
still on it, and I see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like you put your shit down for a second. You just looked at it, and then you pick it up again and look at it again. Like, son,
But
I
that's
just
the
looked
thing.
at this shit. Like,
That's
what
the
fuck
thing.
am I
Like
doing?
some people,
It's all done by design.
some people think it's real and they get offended. Like.
Yeah, I get caught in that shit too.
Bro, when the first few times I signed out, like 2 weeks would feel like fucking 10 minutes. Like now it's like, yo, it feels like years. Like I don't even need it.
Yeah,
but I'll
son-
come
my
back because I'm
son-
bored. I only go
Son
on it because I'm
Rabbit is
bored.
in rehab right now. IG.
I don't
son.
care. I did it a few times.
Shaking a little bit.
That's crazy.
I did it a few times. I
Look
don't
at
mind
Buddy.
it.
Buddy is comfortable there, knocked out.
Buddy's chilling.
Yo, we about to wrap it up. But listen, let's talk about.
There's a
one
new
time.
book coming out.
New book coming out with Rebel. What the fuck is the name of it?
Sneaker champs.
Sneaker Champs.
And this one.
And we already got this one right here.
Outfit architecture.
Outfit architecture. You already know we talked about all this
The
shit.
next one's gonna
North
be all
Faces.
about North Faces.
I'm gonna save some shit for that thing because I was about to say some shit about what the favorite North Face jacket is of mine and all that shit.
Cop the new book.
Cop the new book. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about next time. We're gonna talk about IG and how it used to be in the beginning and a bunch of other shit. And I'm gonna talk about other boosting stories and stuff like that too, man. Shout out to No Ideas Original. He's one of the best sneaker
Definitely.
pages on IG. It's
I
my-
think he's one of
Yo,
the best IG pages.
Let me tell you something. IG, before we go, like a lot of these sneaker pages are based like they're like I don't want to. I'm not knocking it, but they're suburban. Like you know the kids that they came outside and they pulled a basketball hoop out of the garage and their parents bought them the Jordan 4.
Yeah.
No Ideas Original brings it to us from an angle of the niggas in the city blocks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the way we actually saw
Yeah.
it.
Port Authority era.
Exactly.
No,
So-
he's one of my favorite pages.
So he's one of my some
Kim
Metropolis-
Kardashian is my favorite page though. You can't beat it. Like
Come on, son.
I'm being biased.
Yo,
like,
listen, No Ideas Original, Metropolis, favorite pages. My son, Graph Season.
Brad
best,
Pitt is another one. He's one of the
Who?
best. Brad Pitt, one of the best
Get
pages.
the fuck out of here with this shit,
Brad
man.
Pitt?
Nigga
We
said
heard of you.
Brad Pitt. Graph Season, who supplied the markers I showed y'all. He's one of my favorite graph pages and shit.
Living
A
Proof.
lot of these other fucking graph pages is full of shit. Living Proof, obviously, they're the ones doing this shit right here. And they like leave it up to me. I'll be living proof. You know what I mean? Give the truth to the young motherfucking youth out here. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all my niggas out there. You know what I'm saying? You know who you is. You know what I'm saying? VSOP
was.
immediately, baby.
Shout out to Spumoni Gardens, L&B.
Rebel making chicken cutlet sandwiches out of fucking pizzas and shit like that. I never witnessed some shit like that in my life. That was
You're
the first
about
time
to
I saw
witness
that.
the strength
We
of
about to-
street knowledge.
We about to witness it again right now, son. I'm hungry. So let's
Matty
go.
Gun special.
Let's go. Peace, y'all.